All right, guys, another quick success story from the Neville subreddit. I just wanted to share this one because it's a quick one and it's a good little boost of inspiration, maybe for some of us that are feeling stagnant with some of our goals, some of our things that we're looking to create here. So I'm just gonna go over it real quick and touch on a few key points. So I manifested a job offer. Normally, I'm a lurker on Reddit, but I feel the need to share my success story with you. I don't remember how I originally heard about Neville. It was a while back, and I came across his name after getting in an internet rabbit hole. I initially dismissed it as internet woo-woo and moved on with my life. About a month ago, my wife decided to leave her current job and take a position in the same field, but a different company for much less money. I supported her in her decision because she's going to be much happier, but inside I was freaking out a little bit. She's the primary breadwinner, and I was going to punch a huge hole in our budget. Saving grace for me is that my wife had to give a 3-month notice, so I had some time to work with to find another job. Spent a few weeks putting in applications and got nowhere. No interviews or contact at all. I was starting to panic. One day, I was in my local library's iPhone app looking for an audiobook and came across some Neville audiobooks and gave them a shot. Seemingly, having nothing to lose, I decided to try some of the techniques. For the last week and a half, as part of my nighttime routine, before I fell asleep, I was envisioning receiving a job email offer and picturing my wife's excited reaction. During the day, I was constantly reminding myself that I don't need to get a new job, but I already have a new job. I hadn't revealed itself, but I already had it. It was mine. I don't know that I really truly believed, but I just kept repeating it in my mind. Anyways, a couple days ago, a recruiter who I had not initiated contact with approached me about sending my information to a client of theirs. My experience seemed to match what they needed. After receiving a recruiter who I had not initiated contact with approached me. Okay. I'm wondering like how they approached him, but okay. My experience seemed to match what they needed. After receiving my resume, the client requested an interview. I accepted. I interviewed with them yesterday, but the knowledge that I already had my new job and that it may not be this one, but I already have it and will soon reveal itself. During the interview, it struck me how the position was, as it was described, almost picture perfect for me. It was similar to what I was currently doing, but 40 minutes closer to home, and offered a hybrid work schedule where my current job requires me being in the office, and had room for upward mobility where my current job is not. I left the interview and called my wife. She asked how it went, and I said, they're gonna offer me this job. I'm not usually this confident myself, but I just knew it. In my bones, I knew it. Anyway, today, about 24 hours after the interview, the recruiter contacted me with the offer. Between the increase in salary, it's an increase of 30%, and the health insurance saving, my current employer's family insurance is very expensive, my pay increase will be just a little more than the pay cut my wife took. And my start date will be a couple weeks before the start date of my wife's new job. Things worked out more perfect than I could have ever expected. Sorry for being long-winded, but I feel strongly that this stuff works. I can't explain it otherwise. It's a miracle. Yeah, so there's a couple comments on here. It's incredible how similar our stories are. I'm literally in the onboarding process of a new job, 70% higher paid, and I dwelled in the end and did SATs during the entire process. The recruiter initially reached out to, I didn't even apply. Yeah, that is interesting. I'm wondering how these people are reaching out on like LinkedIn or one of those platforms, maybe. They had another person interviewing with over 10 years more experience than me, and I still got it. My tip is do whatever it takes for it to feel real to you, that you currently have it. Close your eyes and smell the money and visualize it until you're sure it's on its way. This entire process has given me the confirmation that we control our outcomes with our thoughts and feelings. Since then, the synchronicities and amazing things have been happening daily now. Yeah, and then the OP is writing, I love to hear it. It's so awesome. I used to have negative self-talk, but this experience has made me realize how important our minds and inner dialogue are. So it's cool that some of these people just came to find out about this stuff, were very skeptical and put it to the test, and it worked for them. yeah, so, and there's other people that are writing their little success stories in the comments as well, like similar job, like related to this, very similar stories with the job thing. Uh, let's just go over this one real quick. I wanted a remote job that pays handsomely with an amazing manager. I had two terrible experiences before. So I said, I have an amazing, easy remote job that pays X amount of money and I can work from anywhere in the world and travel at the same time. My manager loves me to bits. Everybody loves me and they need me so much. So I wrote that down a few times. I wrote myself an email saying, welcome, name. This is your onboarding email. Here's what you need to know, etc. And left it in my draft emails. Then the interviews started happening. I was interviewing for 3 jobs at the same time. I accepted one of them knowing it wasn't the one, but I keep on interviewing and kept affirming and reading that email every day. When the job came, I was already employed, but had a feeling it was the role I said would come. 2 months of interviewing. They offered me exactly as I wrote in my draft email. Wow. My manager is insanely cool and always by my side. I'm so bloody grateful for this. I even told my partner after the second interview that I got the job. I just had the feeling it was done. He said I was awfully self-confident about it. The truth was, I just knew it was mine already. I think this really helped me interview with ease as well. I had no anxiety. I still affirm to this day, my manager is the best, money comes easily, etc. When I asked the coworkers who interviewed me why they chose me, they said they unanimously voted for me and that they liked me the most. Another thing I did as a visualization was sending my partner the PDF contract via WhatsApp and him replying to me something like, "You did it, well done." I replayed the scene in my head like a broken record. I kept on seeing it in front of my eyes randomly during the day. I knew it was done. The law works. Neville was right. Yeah, I mean, these are good techniques in here, really. Like the imaginal scenes and also like the writing of the email draft, and all of it combined. I mean, even having, yeah, the messages, I mean, all of it. So there's definitely some good takeaways from these. And there's somebody else has written other successes about healing and things. So somebody's asking about what kind of thoughts they had. Did you add any thoughts on the type of job you wanted or keep it simple and vague? Okay. So the OP is saying, yes, if anything, I focused more on the feeling than the visualization. The visualization did not come easy, so I focused on the exhilaration I would feel when I got the offer and the pride and satisfaction I would feel in telling my wife. After the interview, I knew I had the job, and I knew I had the job. It was a less specific feeling, but more of a definite certainty, if that makes sense. It's kind of like the sky is blue. It is Thursday. The job is mine. I've read some people on here recommending specificity, but I keep it vague. Yeah, I always talk about the vagueness being powerful. I knew I wanted to stay in my field and make enough money to make up for my wife's reduced pay. I also thought about it being closer to home, but that wasn't a priority. I guess those parts just went along for the ride. I was even open to my current job offering more pay. All I knew for certain was that I have a job that pays me enough money for what I need. Yeah, like I said, guys, these techniques, they're good. And I mean, really, one of the biggest takeaway from this too is like that feeling of certainty. And that's why the techniques come in handy is they're tools to help us get this feeling of certainty, the feeling sense. That's also like the feeling of naturalness. If it's certain, it's going to feel natural. It's like, yeah, matter of fact, the sky is blue. It's Thursday today. I think that the key takeaways from the OP's post in particular are the imaginal scene of falling asleep, imagining his wife's excited reaction, reminding himself during the day that he has a new job. It was his. It's just that calm assuredness, that assured feeling. And he said he kept repeating it in his mind that he already has the job. Yeah. Anyways, guys, definitely a good takeaway. And with that being said, let me know your thoughts down below. If you guys have had any similar experiences to this, I think in the context of a job, it's like if you put yourself out there, part of the thing with the mind is the mind always wants a logical thing to latch onto. So, it would be nice if these people included. I think that from on my previous readings and from everything that I know about the job market currently, they probably have their profile set up in like LinkedIn or Indeed or maybe all of the above, right? And that's how these recruiters are just reaching out to them. But that's a key point to know is like, we want to do all of our due diligence and make sure that we have set ourselves up for success. Because if we were just imagining and doing these imaginal acts and we hadn't had that profile, or we hadn't done, like he said, he submitted a bunch of applications. And that part of that is that taking action. That's the decision side. That is the side where we do and we embody that version of ourselves. Of course, the person that is, receiving a great job is going to have their profile set up well. They're going to be doing, like he mentioned, both of them mentioned in these. Well, really, I guess we went over like 3 different success stories in here, but they mentioned that they went in and were putting in these applications. But then one day, a recruiter just randomly reaches out to them, right? And so that's a common thread that he had not initiated contact with. So it's a common thread that I see in, people that are doing these types of things. It's also been in some of the college applications, the success stories. They go and they submit all the stuff. They go and do all the work. And then the mind is like, okay, now it logically can be like, okay, I did this. And even though it may come through some separate avenue, that's what's so interesting. It still is, I think, part of the process. And it's a necessary aspect, in my opinion, to do this work. If you were just to sit on the couch and imagine this thing and you hadn't done all those other things, I don't think that you're going to be getting the results. Again, that's just my takeaway from this. So do with that what you may. I do think that being embodied and putting that logical mind to rest, sort of assuaging the doubts of the logical mind, is a key, absolute necessity to this whole process. Because some of the goals that I have, for example, that I've achieved or ones that I hadn't achieved, it's like once I have that momentum, then my mind is like, it's easier for me to slip into that natural state. Because I'm like, okay, I did this, this, and this, right? I already took care of this, so like I know it's coming, right? But if I didn't do that, I'm not gonna be able to get into that certain feeling state of that I know it's coming, right? So anyways, with that being said, guys, much love as always. Drop this with a like. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hit me with subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.